Shepherd Daryl Book was born Henry Evans, was a passenger on board Serenity, and a friend and spiritual leader to the crew. Before his time aboard the ship, he led a life marked by violence and conflict, both inside and out, which remained a secret from the crew. To the crew of Serenity, Daryl Book's past was a mystery. He indicated early on that he was a shepherd who had been living in South Down Abbey, and that he never married. In truth, Daryl was not even the shepherd's real name, but rather the name of the man he killed. Book, whose birth name was Henry Evans, lived as a young boy in dread of his highly abusive father. He finally chose to leave home, but after 10 years had merely established himself as a successful thief, adept at avoiding law enforcement. He was then recruited by the independence movement, a representative of which he had been impressed at his excellent combat potential. In 4 years, he honed his fighting skills, easily defeating heavily armed federal agents single-handedly. Since the independent organizers had learned that the Alliance was creating warships, they plotted a long-term mold to rise up through their ranks of the Alliance and subvert them at every turn. Henry's left eye was extracted and replaced with a bio-robotic camera and transmitter, which would provide excellent surveillance. To join the Alliance, he needed a new identity, so he lured an unsuspecting young man named Daryl Book into an alley and murdered him, and took on his name permanently. In 4 short years, he orchestrated a meteoric rise through the Alliance ranks and was selected for the Officer Corps from the law enforcement on Jigadin. He utilized brutal beatings on captured independent members, men and women alike, which impressed his superiors. After 6 years, he was an officer on board the IAV Cortez, where he directed the final movement of the Alliance operations to ambush independent transports on a massive scale. 6 installations on different planets and at least 1 spaceborne transport convoy were raided by Alliance forces at the same moment, but each was ambushed. It was the single greatest disaster in Alliance history. The most prominent loss was the destruction of the IAV Alexander and the loss of all 4,000 souls aboard. Everywhere, about 300 soldiers were captured. Book immediately discharged without a trial and thrown into an escape vessel in disgrace. He lived as a derelict for 6 years until he experienced an epiphany about his place in the universe while staring into a bowl of chicken soup. He was suddenly seized with purpose and joined South Down Abbey, where he remained for a decade, until he finally chose to leave the Abbey on good terms with encouragement and became a missionary. He then joined the crew of Serenity. Book frequently made references to Christian theology and consulted and quoted the Bible. But Book later expressed concern that he was being corrupted by living on Serenity, and he left the ship and moved to the planet Haven. There he was killed by an Alliance soldier sent to destroy Haven after Serenity managed to shake an Alliance assassin known as the Operative. However, he was not a passive figure in the events leading up to his death. He defended Haven and shot down the AV Sparrow that attacked the settlement. After taking down the ship, Mel told Book that he did the right thing, to which he replied, "Coming from you, that means almost nothing." Book's dying words to Mel were, "I don't care what you believe, just believe it."